Have you ever noticed how one song can instantly change how you feel? Within just a few seconds, a song can make you feel happy, emotional, motivated, or even nostalgic. Sometimes you might hear a song and suddenly remember a moment from your childhood, a road trip with friends, or a specific person in your life. Music has a powerful way of affecting our emotions almost immediately, and most of us experience this every single day. Music is something people listen to constantly. We listen to music while studying, driving, working out, relaxing, or even when we're feeling stressed or overwhelmed. Because music is such a regular part of our lives, understanding why it affects our emotions can help us better understand how our own thoughts, moods, and behaviors work. As a pre med student, I'm especially interested in how the brain influences our emotions and behaviors. When researching this topic, I found several psychological and neurological studies explaining how music affects the brain and why it can trigger such strong emotional responses. Music affects our emotions because it activates specific areas of the brain, connects strongly to memory, and influences our mood and behavior. First, I will explain how music affects the brain. Second, I will discuss how music connects to emotions and memory. Third, I will explain how music influences mood and behavior in everyday life. To begin, let's look at what actually happens in the brain when we listen to music. Music activates key areas of the brain that are involved in emotion, reward, and dopamine release. Dopamine is a chemical in the brain that is associated with the feelings of pleasure and happiness. When we listen to music we enjoy, our brain releases dopamine, which is one reason music can feel so rewarding and enjoyable. Neuroscientist Daniel Levitin explains in his book, This Is Your Brain on Music, that listening to music activates the same reward system in the brain that is stimulated by things like food, laughter, and other pleasurable experiences. This means that the emotional response we feel when listening to music is not just in our imagination. There's actually a biological process happening in our brain. Music also activates multiple regions of the brain at the same time. According to research from Harvard Health Publishing, listening to music activates areas such as the amygdala, which processes emotions, the hippocampus, which is involved in memory, and the prefrontal cortex, which helps with attention and decision making. Because music stimulates several parts of the brain simultaneously, it creates a strong emotional and psychological response. Now that we understand what happens in the brain when we listen to music, let's look at why certain songs can feel so personal and emotionally powerful. Music is strongly connected to memory, which is why certain songs can trigger vivid emotional experiences and feelings of nostalgia. Many people have experienced hearing a song and immediately remembering a specific moment in their life. This happens because music is closely tied to what psychologists call autobiographical memory, which refers to memories connected to personal life events. A study published in the journal Memory and Cognition found that music is one of the strongest triggers of emotional responses. Because of this connection, hearing a song from the past can instantly bring back memories of where you were, who you were with, and how you were feeling during that time. Music is often present during meaningful moments in our lives. For example, people associate songs with school dances, sporting events, relationships, or important milestones. When music is paired with emotional experiences, the brain forms stronger connections between the song and the memory. That is why hearing a song years later can suddenly bring back strong emotions like happiness, nostalgia, or even sadness. Because music is so closely tied to both brain chemistry and memory, it also has a strong influence on our mood and behavior in everyday life. Music can influence our mood, motivation, stress levels, and even our performance during different activities. Many people use music intentionally to change how they feel. For example, someone might listen to calm music when they want to relax, or upbeat music when they need energy and motivation. Research published in the journal Psychoneuroendocrinology found that listening to relaxing music can actually reduce levels of cortisol, which is a hormone associated with stress. This helps explain why people often listen to music when they are trying to calm down or relieve anxiety. Music can also improve motivation and performance. A study in the Journal of Sport and Exercise Psychology found that upbeat music can improve endurance and motivation during exercise. This is why many athletes and gym goers listen to energetic music while working out. Music can make physical activities feel easier and more enjoyable because it affects both mood and energy levels. Now that we have looked at how music affects the brain, memory, and behavior, let's quickly review the main ideas from this speech. Music activates important emotional and reward centers in the brain. It also strongly connected to memory, which is why certain songs can bring back vivid emotional experiences. Finally, music can influence our mood, behavior, and even our performance during everyday activities. Overall, music affects our emotions because it directly interacts with the brain, strengthens emotional memories, and shapes our mood and behavior. The next time a song instantly changes your mood or reminds you of a specific moment in your life, remember that it is not just the lyrics or the melody. Your brain is responding in powerful psychological ways, showing just how deeply music is connected to our emotions and experiences.